says we're live.
Blah!
Live from 3 different places.
As per usual.
All right, now I can see us. All right, guys. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining once again. We were almost on time tonight.
Yeah.
6 minutes late. I think that's like kind of a record.
That's the earliest you've ever been.
Yeah. We are back with another fun and exciting show for y'all, where we are going to be discussing horror stories from the comic shop. So this is, I'm not talking about we're making up stories about cursed comics coming and eating your face, but things that have happened to all of us, regarding people in the shop, people that work there, people that are also customers, maybe even something that you've done that you think is a horrible thing. But anyway,
oh yeah, I just thought of something that I've done that's a horrible thing.
Anyway, with me tonight is, of course, the OmniDog himself, Jess Bragg.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Hit him with the hind.
And the shiniest head in Las Vegas, Gabe himself, Infinity Watch.
Yo, what up, everybody? Shout out to the chat. Everybody there is being cool already. Coming to you live from a Starbucks.
Yeah, that's dedication, going to Starbucks.
If I could get good Wi-Fi at a strip club, I'd be at a strip club right now.
Oh my God, I'd be so jealous. I gotta stop talking about it and get out there and do it with you.
Every week it's gonna be like, where in Las Vegas is Gabe? And I'm gonna do it from different locations.
All right, well, guys, I wasn't here last week, so how's it been? How was the first episode of October?
I thought it went well. We talked about spooky movies and spooky books, and it turned out we had a lot to say, and it was interesting, I thought.
Nice.
What did you think, Gabe?
No, it's a great episode as always. Omar did a great job to fill in. And we kind of went all over the place. It was a pretty long episode, but not in a bad way.
Nice. That's awesome. I was absent because of a few things, one of which being I was studying for this kind of interview test thing I had to do, and that was so I could get a promotion, and that happened.
Yay!
And it happened, and I succeeded. I killed it. I got the emails in. I was actually off yesterday, so I came in this morning, and my emails were like, congratulate Ryleymo. He's passed. He's promoted, yada, yada, yada.
You're a captain of industry now.
Just, moving on up.
Nice.
Moving on up. So that was an exciting thing. And then, of course, over the weekend, Megan and I went to ACL, saw some bands. I was exhausted. And now I'm back and hosting the show. And I think that the true horror story is our wallets after last week.
Truly. Now, with a new bump in pay, are you going to be able to afford more than a plain white T-shirt to wear?
Nope.
You're just going to stick with the plain white tee?
Yeah, I'm not changing my own budget or anything. It's just going to be more money going towards savings, basically.
Mm.
Ooh, that's not
right?
Fuck responsibility, dude.
Yeah, dude. What? That's adulting.
Yeah.
To the max. So are we going to talk about hauls or reads or?
Yeah.
Come on, Riley.
Let's talk about some hauls. One of you guys wants to start. Let's talk about what you got.
Well, I'll let Gabe start because he hauled his all the way to Starbucks.
Yeah, I hauled my haul to the Starbucks with me today. Let's take a look. I'm pretty sure this is going to be echoed throughout the entire show for the rest of us. So let's talk about World War Hulk, which is a great book. This thing is humongous.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't realize how large this book was going to be. It's bigger than the Planet Hulk.
Pages?
I don't know what the page count is because I don't look at that kind of stuff. I'm not one of those people that go on to the boards and complain about page count versus dollar price. Like there's some kind of correlation between the two.
this one's only 600 pages, but it's $100.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, honestly, if these books were $125 and were just like the greatest stories of all time, and they were like 6 issues, I'd be fine with that.
How thick is that Simonson Thor?
It's not that bad compared to the old version. I know the old version was nasty thick.
Yeah, I have the older version. That looks much more compact.
It's more compact, and look at that. You got sewn binding on it, too. Look how pretty that is.
Because my binding is pretty creaky.
Yeah. And then what I like about these new printings is I haven't opened this one yet, but I know when you pull off the dust jacket, they have a wraparound image on the actual book itself, too. So
as opposed to DC's black.
Yeah, as opposed to that old school black cover. And this is a Mighty haul because, again, I got Simonson's Mighty Thor. And then also the Heroes Reborn Mighty Thor also.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think you're the only one out of the three of us who's read that run.
Right. I haven't read it.
I love this run. I like how have they gone back to putting the covers on the back cover? I remember for a long time they didn't have the covers on these omnibus.
Most of them have that on the back. It's like some of the more modern stories, they don't put that on there.
I love that feature. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, because there's someone here you probably can't see, but you have like the wraparound cover, so you get to see the front and the back cover here and everything as well. So it's stuff like that. I agree, Jess. That's the best thing about these omnibus is being able to see the paneling for all these covers. That's cool.
It's really neat.
But I love this. This is the Heroes Reborn. This takes place this is Heroes Return, which takes place after Heroes Reborn. And everybody knows I'm the '90s guy, and this is one of my favorite storylines from this. I mean, John Romita Jr. is doing the art, and I know there's a lot of hot and cold when it comes down to his art, but this is him at his peak. Like this and his Spider-Man run is really what John Romita Jr. is all about. And let me get my backpack. I got more stuff in here. So a shout out to Kevin on the board. He's one of our fellow Vegas Omnibros. He stopped by the shop and dropped me off a copy of Wizard 29.
Oh, what year is that from?
This is January of '94.
Wow. That's some nostalgia right there.
Yeah, that's some cool bitch and spawn action on the cover, too.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Jess from last week, I picked up a Human Torch from Walgreens.
Nice. You got that. Sweet.
Yep. I'm getting this because I'm old. I'm getting old. And I pulled my back. So I pulled my back, or I strained my back. And, I had to get some pain medicine. I went to the doctors and all that kind of fun stuff. And I picked up my prescription at Walgreens and saw the Human Torch there, so I had to pick it up.
Nice. Legends and pain pills.
Oh, yeah.
That's my kind of sickness.
And then something here also for Jess to get him kind of jelly.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's so cool.
This is the coolest thing I got recently. I love this. Something completely different that I don't think we've ever really, we ever talked about on the show before. We talk about vinyl occasionally, of course. But this is the Sing Along with Marvel. This is a record from 1967, which was a Melloway. You had to be part of the Marvel Comics fan club to get this. And it has the infamous Merry Marvel Marching Society song on it. And it's cool because here on the back, this little back flap, there's an order form for ordering comics that were out at that time.
Subscription rate $1.75.
Yep.
Wow.
But here, I'll pull out the little vinyl because this is neat. It's actually a little thin floppy thing.
A flexi disc, yeah. That's what used to come in Mad Magazine too.
So this is super cool. It has all these really cool face images on here from different characters of Marvel. The thing is still absolutely plays beautifully. Like this is still a beautiful sounding record as well. So.
Oh, I am so jealous.
So the store I work at, we got this huge collection of like Dell and Gold Key and books like that. And they sorted through it, and they said, "Hey, Gabe, do you want this? I don't think we could sell it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking take that for sure. 100%, I would take this. This is awesome."
Looks like it's complete too.
Yeah. It's not broken. It's a little, it's sun damaged and a little wear and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not torn. It's all in one piece. The vinyl plays beautifully. So yeah, this is a totally awesome score, I think.
That's great.
I wish I could play it, but I know YouTube will probably bust us for it. So maybe I'll play it on my Instagram. You can hit me up on Gabe Infinity Watch on Instagram, and I think I'll pop up a video of me playing this so you can get a cool idea of what it sounds like.
Damn, dude! I just looked up the that album on eBay, and the lowest one is at $75.
Whoa!
Yeah, suckers!
Score! That's a big score.
I'll live with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know
what one is 175. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool because you can only get that through the mail order service back when they had the fan club. And to me, that's a nice big chunk of, comic book history right there. Stan Lee's on it. I think Flo's on there talking and things like that. So that really makes it super fun. So it's a nice glimpse of the bullpen in Marvel Comics back in the late 60s.
That's boss. That is truly boss.
It's like, what, 3, 4, maybe 5 years after they started? Like Marvel first started?
About 6 years, because Fantastic Four #1 was 1961.
Okay.
But still, I mean, it's probably about the time when they were starting to pick up and they didn't have to go through DC to do the distribution. And that was one of the things that made Marvel so different, is that was their way of connecting with their audience and connecting with the fans, with the fan club and the giveaways and super cool things like that. So
nice.
That is really cool.
Well, Jess, show us how you destroyed your bank account last week.
Okay. I don't have it. I've already filed it away, but I also got World War Hulk. Gabe already showed us what it looks like. I read something really good about Planetoid, so I got these two books, Planetoid and Planetoid Praxis. These are image books, and I read that these were awesome from Paste magazine, and Paste is usually really good on its recommendations. So I got Planetoid. Then I got Supergirl by Peter David, Volume 3. Yeah, Supergirl Volume 3.
I forgot they were putting out those Peter David Supergirl books.
Yeah, and it's got really good art and stuff in it.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
DC is starting to put out the good stuff again. Some of their newer, modern classics, it seems like. Because we're getting the Peter David stuff, we're getting the Mark Waid Flash,
right,
and we're getting the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern stuff that's coming out too. So that's all really that's been a big gap in DC's back issues.
I got Flintstones Volume 2, which I forgot I ordered, and now I got to go upstairs and read it right away. Because these are just, I just loved Flintstones. The Volume 1 was fantastic. It's really great. So, let's see. Then I got some hardcovers. I got Wonder Woman Rebirth. I'm excited about that. Greg Rucka. And I made the choice of this cover for Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. I decided I liked this cover better than the direct market variant or whatever it was. But I didn't know that they finished up, according to these comics, I didn't know this. He finished up Master of Kung Fu and then continued in Wolverine, which I didn't know.
I think that's it was in Marvel Comics Presents.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, it does say Marvel Comics Presents.
Which was like It was like, you know, half of the issue was one story and half was another.
Mm.
So
Okay.
half was Wolverine.
Hey, with the Wolverine, or I'm sorry, the Wonder Woman Rebirth, what order is the issues in? Do we know?
I will tell you in 1 second. I believe it's like they published them. That was they did what? A flashback, then a modern, then a flashback, then a modern. Is that right?
I think it was
Yeah,
modern flashback. Modern. I don't know.
Okay.
It was two separate stories going at the same time.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, let's see. Book 1. I love this cover.
Yeah, they did it in published order because it went like The Lies Part 1 and then Year 1 Part 1.
Hey, I just took the time to open this book. Don't
Well, be faster.
my don't
Thunder Stealer
my
over here.
thunder. Yeah, Ryleymo Thunder Stealer.
I have to make up for being absent last week.
Yeah, by stepping all over me. Well, I will show you the
men to open their comics.
here's the wraparound cover for Wonder Woman, so that's cool.
Oh, I like how it's on a panel like that. That's cool.
Yeah. And the last book that I grabbed was a huge Low.
Nice.
Very large book. And I love this story. I read it in singles, so I'm happy to get this in a fancy, beautiful, not expensive book. So I'm pretty happy. And I got from Marvel Collector Corps this golden Iron Man that you can only get through Marvel Collector Corps. Little bobblehead. So in the classic pose. So I got that. And this is probably the last pop I have room for. And I know everybody's out there laughing, saying it's the 60th time you've said that. But I really don't have any room for things anymore. I'm just running. I'm out of room. So I don't know where I'm going to be putting anything, any action figures or pops. So I'm really, really, really trying to get out of that game.
But you still got room for books, right?
Yeah, that's what I have room for. Although any more weeks like last week is going to swallow up what little remaining space I have.
Tell me about it, man.
Yeah. How about you, Rye Bread? What'd you get?
Let's see. So I got a few things not from in-stock trades. I grabbed, I didn't pull it off my shelf, but I grabbed volume 8, I think it was, of Yu Yu Hakusho, because that was the one volume of that series they didn't have on in-stock trades. So I just found it for really cheap on eBay and went with that. I also got 2 volumes of this series I had never even heard of, called Animal Land. The first I heard of it was I was on in-stock trades one week looking through the new releases, and I saw a volume of that, and the artwork on the cover was really cool. So I was like, one day I'll try it out. And I found the 2 volumes for like $10, which is less than the cover price of 1 volume.
What's it look like again? What's the cover look like? Oh, man, that's halfway to bronyism.
Well, that's not what the cover of the one I saw looked like. I'll tell you that.
Okay, Riley.
Yeah. But anyway, so I ordered them. They were cheap. I was like, hey, I'll try it out, see what I think. It's pretty good. I'll talk about this when we talk about what we read, so I don't want to spend too much time on that right now. And then the next thing is also from eBay. So recently, when I was talking about like all the different DC Rebirth series and my I guess hierarchy of them, I mentioned that I did not read Red Hood and the Outlaws, and many people came out and said, hey, you should really read Red Hood and the Outlaws, even if you didn't like the previous series. The new series is really good. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. But me being who I am, I'm like, I should still read all of the previous stuff anyway. So I found on eBay 4 of the volumes, 1, 4, 5, and 7, for really cheap. I think it was like $6 a volume. So I'll wind up getting the rest of those soon. If I don't wind up liking it, I'll just sell it to someone for cheap. But at the very least, there's really good artwork in these books. It's got, Kenneth Rocafort is on the first volume. He's fantastic. But we'll see what I think about Red Hood. My previous exposure, I read the first issue, and I absolutely hated it. But that's one issue out of, like, 40. We'll see.
Luis is constantly busting on that as the worst comic ever from New 52. And it's the same author, and it's supposed to be great now.
Maybe you should do a review on it.
Yeah, once I read it, I'll probably talk a lot about it.
No, I meant Luis.
What up?
Because Luis, I was talking about Luis because he kept talking about he was going to do a review on it, but I don't think he ever did.
Oh.
No.
Well, now he doesn't have any comics.
He's all digital now.
There's no book to review. But anyway, moving forward, all of my stuff that I got from In-Stock Trades, everything was oversized except for one book. And that was the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern paperback, which I realized double dips a little bit with my my Emerald Twilight New Dawn paperback. So I ended up selling this off for a little cheaper.
Yeah, I need to pick up that new Kyle Rayner trade paperback. I want that really bad.
Yeah, it's nice looking, man. It's good quality paper, good coloring, nice artwork throughout. I'm excited. My Green Lantern was it was Guy Gardner, and then it was Hal Jordan. So I never got a lot of Kyle, but I know a lot of people love Kyle so much, so I was like, hell yeah, they're putting out paperbacks, and see how it is.
Yeah, Kyle was my Green Lantern when I first started getting into DC stuff after the death of Superman. So I just grew up with the idea of Hal Jordan being a crazy maniac because it's, Emerald Twilights, and I always just love. And I mean, come on, he's a Hispanic character whose girlfriend gets stuffed into a refrigerator. How awesome is that?
Oh yeah, the refrigerator. That's where that famous refrigerator came from.
Yep.
And then also from DC, I grabbed, this was from a couple weeks ago. I finally got this Superman Deluxe.
I have that too, right here. I read it. Look, we're twinsies.
Good shit. Good shit. And then also twins, I also got that Wonder Woman, but we know that because I stole your glory.
Yeah. Thunderstealer.
Also from DC, I grabbed the Bronze Age Swamp Thing Omnibus.
Oh yeah, I got that too.
This is the first of the Gold, Silver, or Bronze books that I've gotten, mostly because I'm such a huge fan of the character, and I have every other collected edition of Swamp Thing that's available, so I figured I might as well grab it. And it's a really beautiful book. I'm excited to finally read all these early stories that preceded Alan Moore's stuff, and I'm really hoping that the fact that this book goes right up to where Alan Moore's run starts means that we might see some Alan Moore Omnis coming soon. Also note, it's not labeled as Bronze Age Omnibus Volume 1. It's just labeled as Bronze Age Omnibus. So they do another one. Maybe Swamp Thing by Alan Moore.
I'm hoping for that. That's been a need and a desire for a very long time to have the Alan Moore stuff collected again. Because those hardcovers are hard to find, and they're on like crappy paper and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
On the DC Most Wanted poll that I did, it was the #1 Most Wanted by like a huge landslide.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that too, but I filed it away too already.
What a wiener. Speaking of filed away books, I'm not pulling out my World War Hulk or my Thor Heroes Return because Gabe already showed it off, but I did get those as well. Also from Marvel, I got the Master of Kung Fu, but I got the other cover that Jess did not grab.
Right.
Because I think I got most of all the other Kung Fu books with the classic covers. So I figured, whatever. I wasn't really too heavily leaning towards either one, but I just decided to grab that. And then the last 2 books that I got, one of them was low. And then finally, this one has been talked about a lot in the group, was the Power Rangers hardcover.
Lots of people really want that. I am not the target demographic for that, but boy, a lot of people really want that.
Yeah, I've told people, like, have asked about it, and they're like, "Is it worth it? Is it worth it?" And I'm like, if you don't know whether you're going to think it's worth spending, like, this is a $75 book, and even on stock trades, it's still like 50 something. I think on Amazon it's like 46. Don't blind buy something that's going to be that expensive, especially if it's only like 14 issues, because it's like the amount of quality that you're expecting with the amount of money that you're spending, it's not going to live up to it. Like, if you're curious about it, just go buy the trade paperback or grab one of the like digital copies of the first issue or something like that, just to try it. But like Jess, you know, you're quite a bit younger. You know, you didn't grow up watching Power Rangers like a bunch of people in our generation did.
Right.
So this wouldn't really appeal much to you, but if you were curious about it because it's a good book with cool artwork, then I would recommend just grabbing one of the paperbacks and then maybe working your way up to the hardcover. But part of what makes it so cool is being a fan of the series growing up and seeing someone expand on it in really cool and original ways, and like taking the mythology and the lore of these characters that we saw like from the show and doing new things with it. Because honestly, looking back at the show, it didn't really go in any truly original and interesting directions when compared to like the original Japanese series. This is taking it into kind of really original and interesting places that are different from anything that we got in the show. And it's just got really cool artwork. There's cool references like to different, like that, I think, was it Ninjor from one of the later seasons shows up. Just a lot of really cool shit in there. And then this entire back section is all cover gallery.
Wow.
Yeah, there's, let me see if I can flip through.
How many issues? Look at all that.
There's just
there's a lot of variants for that series. A lot of variants.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Tons of variants. Like the first issue had a variant cover for every single character, basically.
Oh, okay.
So tons of variant covers there, and it's a really nice little cover gallery. Probably my favorite cover gallery I've seen in any book that I own, because there is so many of them, and just the way that they're organized is really well done, because there's like several covers that will link together, or several covers by the same artist, or featuring the same, you know, character or whatever. So it was really nicely put together. I'm gonna say my one disappointment. I have two disappointments, I'll say. The first disappointment is it's the Year One Deluxe Edition, and I thought that by, you know, Year One Deluxe Edition, it'd be kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, where they collect even the side issues, you know, miniseries one-shots, but it does not collect the Pink miniseries. We already knew that from when it was solicited, but I was disappointed from the get-go by that fact, because the Pink miniseries was really good also. The second thing I'm kind of disappointed in is, and I understand given that it is the Year One Deluxe, it wouldn't collect this material, but the first story arc really doesn't end for another 6 issues or so after where this book ends. So that was a little bit disappointing, but it's all good as long as they keep doing these. If these are as nice going forward as this first volume, then I'm fine with those shortcomings, and I'm going to keep buying them, because that book is just, it's on point.
Nice.
I haven't read that the Power Rangers series, but from all the times I was working in the comic book store when that was coming out, if you're a Power Rangers fan, especially Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, everybody from that generation of Power Rangers fans absolutely love that series. It's really cool. From my understanding, the story, because the beginning of Power Rangers, when Tommy first shows up, he's a bad guy. And that book and that storyline is all about him still as a bad guy, as the Green Ranger. Because in the show, it was only like a couple episodes and it becomes good. But in the book, it expands on that like exponentially, and it's all this other back matter and information about him being under the control of Rita Repulsa and all that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a cool expansion on that material, and it starts right after that arc where he's first introduced, and then there's a secondary series ongoing called Go-Go Power Rangers, which is set right after the first episode, like where they first become the Power Rangers, and it's set more in like a high school setting where they're all at school and they're like, you know, talking about how it sucks that they can't, you know, be open about their new, you know, superhero status, and they're like, Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, is trying to like hide her alter ego from her boyfriend. So it's pretty interesting stuff. The main series, though, you know, if you're a fan of it, I definitely give it a go. But I guess with that,
real quick, Riley, I'm sorry, I'm muted because of the music in here. I know you posted up images of it, but could you show us like how big that is compared to other hardcovers? Because I know it's like not like an awkward size, but I know it's like in between an absolute and like a library edition or something like that.
So it's slightly taller than like a oversized hardcover, but it's the same width.
That's a pretty thick book.
Yeah, it's as thick as the Shang-Chi omnibus is. Yeah, so it's not quite as tall or as wide as a library edition is, but it's taller than an omnibus edition.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all want to get into whatever y'all have read this week? Read comics anymore?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. Okay. Absolutely nothing. So Jess, you can go up.
That was easy.
I've been a little busy. I'm actually quitting my insurance job, and I'm going to work at Torpedo full time.
Nice.
The comic store?
The comic store, yeah. I'm going to be working there full time. They matched my pay, and I kind of lied and told them I'd make a little bit more, so I gave myself a raise.
Nice.
And what's going to be cool is I get half off books, even Omnibus, and I'll be able to get them the first day they come out too. So this will be it'll be a lot more cooler too.
Wow, good for you. That's exciting.
Yeah. Now my boss is a rock star, literally.
Oh, it's a rock star that owns that?
The guy from System of a Down?
Yeah, the drummer from System of a Down is the owner of the store.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
And he's in there all the time. Like, it's cool because he's not just some guy who came across a lot of money and opened a comic book store. He was selling comics before he got into System of a Down. And he was actually, I guess from what I've read and what I talked to him about, is he took a pay cut to join System of a Down. And as he was traveling, he would buy comics to kind of make up and supplement his income. So it's kind of a cool, he's a comic book guy, no matter what. I mean, thick and thin, he's been a comic book guy forever. So that's always kind of cool. So when Adam Hughes comes out here, Jess,
yes.
we'll get that all set up for you too.
I am coming out for that.
Yep.
I'm definitely coming out for that.
And if anybody's in the Las Vegas area, LA area, or whatever, make sure to come out December 2nd. We have Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo doing a signing at the store. And the next day, December 3rd, we're going to have Mark Brooks there doing the signing. So
nice.
We got some crazy stuff coming up there.
Very nice. Okay, I read, well, I'm almost done with Uzumaki.
Good.
I know, I figured you'd like that, Riley. It did take some getting used to, starting from, the back and then the paneling. I quickly figured out that read differently too, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, but wow, this is such a good, creepy, disturbing book. I really love it. So I'm trying to read scary books this month. I'm also doing Rebirth. I'm reading as much Rebirth as I can. I'm in the middle of Superwoman, Who Killed Superwoman, trade paperback. I read Superman Rebirth. which was great. And I read Action, which I liked. I know that for some reason this gets, it doesn't get universal love, but I liked it a lot. Not as much as Batman, but I did like it.
I thought all the Superman books were getting a lot of love. Because I know Action, I enjoyed it when it was first coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall it getting universal love. Action specifically, because there's a lot of fight scenes with Doomsday where they're just punching each other through panels. So I can see how that got a little repetitive for people.
Oh, come on. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And then on my spooky book read, I read Crawl Space by Remender, and I highly enjoyed it, especially the zombie porn star story, which was great. Called, what's it called again? Triple X Zombies, where porn stars are going after the zombies. I mean, how can you not like that?
That's funny because we have a thing here in Vegas called porn star karaoke at certain bars out here.
Oh, we're doing that.
No, I'm about to find it.
When I come out, that's second on the list after the strip club, and Adam Hughes is third. And then I put together Mantis because she fell and broke all her limbs. So that's how exciting my night has been. I put Mantis back together. So that's what I read.
Okay, well, I'll get to my whopping pile. I too was really busy the past week. There was the whole test thing with the promotion and the ACL thing, and also every single night Megan and I are watching a horror movie because we're trying to do 31 movies in 31 days during October. And so far we're caught up. We just need to watch something after the show tonight. I'm going to jump out and watch another movie. This was really cool. We completely did not even realize that tomorrow is Friday the 13th. And we went to the rental place because there's a movie rental place down the street from us. And we got kind of just on a whim. We were like, oh, hey, let's grab the first couple Friday the 13th and we'll watch that as part of the marathon. Excuse me. And we go to check out and the guy's like, oh, good, good thinking, guys, like grabbing it early because come Friday, these movies are going to be gone. Like everyone's going to want to grab Friday the 13th. And I was like,
yeah.
huh? And then Megan was like, oh, yeah. So it was kind of cool, but at the same time I was upset because then I got home and I was like, all right, well, I kind of want to watch Friday the 13th. And she was like, no, we got to save it for actually watching it on Friday the 13th in October. Like, when does it happen that it's Friday the 13th in October?
Yeah.
So it happens every 7 years.
Is that right? Interesting. Well, in 7 years, I guess we'll watch Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th in October again. But anyway, so that was pretty cool. So the only books that I've read and completed this week were those 2 volumes of Animal Land. Animal Land is not quite as engrossing as Animal Man, but it's still so far a good story.
That's one step away from My Little Pony, I think.
Yeah, you can go. You can go swallow a unpinned grenade. Okay. For any manga and anime fans, the creator of this one is Makoto Raiku, who also did the series Zatch Bell or Gash Bell, as it is in Japanese, which is it was a cartoon that was on Cartoon Network, I want to say, while I was in high school, so I never really watched it. But the art style is kind of cartoony. This one's a little bit less it's still cartoony, but it's less so than that one. Like, he does some realism with a lot of the animals, but some of the animals are more anthropomorphic, such as the tanuki on the cover there. Tanuki is a Japanese raccoon dog. So basically raccoons that walk on all fours and don't have opposable thumbs, as far as I understand. The story has this baby that you see on the cover is abandoned by its mother and sent down a river, kind of, like the Jungle Book. these animals find the baby, and they start to decide to raise the baby. Specifically, this tanuki raises it as her own child. The baby soon, about less than a year old, starts to be able to speak in the language of the tanukis. But it turns out not only can he speak to the tanukis, but this baby knows how to speak to all animals. And it starts to communicate between the different species, such as the big jungle cats and the wolves and the bears and the elephant and stuff, and communicating between them all to kind of bring harmony. Whereas before, some of the species were dying out because they were getting eaten or being starved and stuff like that. So that's the basic outline of the first 2 volumes. It's just kind of coming of age stuff. But by the end of the second volume, we see that there's going to be a time skip, and coming up, we'll see him grow into being a young child and then a young adult and stuff like that. As I understand it, going forward, this series takes a completely left turn and turns into an action series. So I've got the next couple volumes up. Again, I found them for super cheap. I'm gonna get those in the mail in a couple days, and I'll read those and come back. So far, I'll say if you like animals and the Jungle Book, then this would be up your alley. But it might go into a really different direction and be very un-Jungle Book-like and very un-My Little Pony-like in a couple volumes now. But it was fun to try something that I literally never heard of and had no exposure to, because usually I have some sort of exposure to everything that I read, and this was something completely fresh, completely going in blind. So that was kind of cool. And that's really it. That's all I've finished this week. I've read some new issues, and I also started reading I'm halfway through the second Battle Royale Ultimate hardcover. But that is it. Oh, and I read 1 issue of The Initiative, which is cool.
That's new? Is that new?
This came out several months ago, and then the second volume I have on my shelf came out last month. So I wanted, it has all of that entire 30-something issue series. I wanted to go read through that.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all I've read for the past week. Hopefully I'll get a little bit more done before next week. I've got another back-breaking shipment of books coming in, so either way, I've got a lot to talk about. And now we can head into the main feature tonight after about 40 minutes of hauls and reading and other stuff. Spooky horror stories from the comic shop. So the idea, as I mentioned earlier, if you weren't here at the beginning of the show, we're talking about real life stories, things that have happened to us, the comic shop horror stories, damaged items, pre-orders that weren't fulfilled, smelly guy in front of you at line, someone buying all the variant covers. These are the comic shop horror stories we're talking about, and something's happened to all of us here. We all have a story to tell. So guys, have at it. Whoever wants to start.
Well, I went to this store in Vegas that's owned by the System of a Down guy.
And the guy behind the counter had no pants on.
Yeah, he insisted on going shirtless and pantsless. Well, I have two stories that happened a long time ago. One was in Old Town Alexandria, where I live about 10 minutes away from it. There's I haven't been back to the store. It's called something Emporium, some Comic Emporium and Herbarium or something, and it's the weirdest mixture of comic books and plants. The guy sells all kinds of green plants and stuff, and so it's really hot and humid in there for the plants, and so all the comic books are all curled and stuff, and the guy never bathes, and he stinks to high heaven, and I'm not sure he's all there up top. It just was, it was weird. It was very uncomfortable in there. Keeping it so humid in there was, I don't think is a good idea.
Oh no, not at all.
No, and it's just a weird thing to sell plants and comic books together. That's just an odd thing. But the worst experience I ever had was a comic book store in Napa Valley when my sister used to live there. My wife and I, this was probably 1991 or so that we visited there. And I think that's right when the sort of Marvel boom sort of thing came out, when Punisher was really hot and Wolverine was really hot, and all, you know, Darkhawk #1 was, you know, people were buying 25 copies of Darkhawk #1. I think that era sort of started right around 90 or 91. And I went into this store, and it was owned by these old people, like older than I am now. They were in their 70s, and they were cranky. Oh my gosh, they were cranky. It was the most customer unfriendly place I've ever been. Anybody 18 or under had to ask permission to get through the gate to get to the back issues. And the brand new issues of like Wolverine and Punisher were $1.99, but they had already marked them up to $4. They were brand new, and they already had marked them up to $4. And I said, "This is brand new." And she said, "I don't care." And so I said, "May I go through the gate?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'll let you through." And it was like, I just got the worst feeling from her. And she was so cranky, and they must have had bad experiences with teenagers or something. But I walked out of there without spending anything, when I could have bought lots of back issues, or, you know, I could have pulled a bunch of current stuff if she wasn't charging $4 a book for $1.99 books. So that was the worst, and it makes me appreciate Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, because that is the best. I know we're talking about the worst, but Third Eye just has such wonderful customer service. They will bend over backwards to make sure you're happy. But this woman bent over backwards to make sure I was unhappy.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I never went back there. I'd have to think about. I have been to an awful lot of comic book stores. I remember I got a lecture back in 1985 or 86 when Dark Knight Returns came out, and I hadn't been collecting. I had taken the 80s off from collecting, and I read about Dark Knight Returns in the LA Times, and I thought, oh, that sounds really interesting. So I went to Golden Apple, and because that was the famous store, and I said, I hear that there's a new Batman out that's really cool. And the guy I don't think Golden Apple is there anymore. I think maybe the owner sold it or something and couldn't find anybody to take over for him. But the guy just started lecturing me on how he was how Batman was a cross between Clint Eastwood and Taxi Driver or something, and how I was probably just a speculator looking to make a cheap score, and that I wasn't a real comic fan, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't deserve the book. He had already sold out, but he might sell me a first printing for $50, or he had a second printing for $25. And I was like, dude, I just want to read the comic. Why are you lecturing me and coming off so rude to me? And eventually, I think I bought the comic. Second printing, he gave it to me for cover price. But that left a bad taste in my mouth. The guy was not the friendliest dude. Considering that was a landmark comic book store in LA. Oh, I'll name drop another one with crappy customer service in New York City. Jim Hanley's Universe. Fuck you. You are the worst service I've had. Jim Hanley's Universe, you suck. If you're still in business, you got a lot of nerve selling anything. You are the most unfriendly. That place was full of staff that was there purposely to ignore you. I could not get any help whatsoever. Yeah, F you, Jim Hanley's universe. You suck. So there, I'm done.
So according to Google, Jim Hanley's universe is still around. They got 2 locations in New York City, it looks like.
Well, I went to it. It was very big and had lots of back issues, and I couldn't get a single question answered. They were so customer unfriendly. They did not care whether I had a dollar in my pocket or not. They did not care at all what the customer is always wrong, is their opinion.
That sucks because, I mean, comic book stores are a dying breed almost these days. And that started out because in the 80s and 90s, comic book stores were so unfriendly and uninviting to the unordained, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, you especially know, since you work in a store, how important it is to be welcoming and not dismissive, and to be all-inclusive, especially if a woman comes into the store. You want to be as polite and friendly as you can get.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when it comes down to women, kids, different just like diversity individuals as well, or anything like that. I mean, comic book stores always had that creepy basement feeling at first.
Right.
And I mean, with the change of times, especially with the movies and stuff like that, stores have evolved into boutiques. And I'm sure like Third Eye Comics, and I know stores out here in Vegas, including Torpedo, are like boutiques. I mean, they're brightly lit. People talk to you when you walk in. You get recommendations. You get customer service. And the stores who don't do that, the ones that are still old school and just, you know, hang comics up and they overcharge back issues and things like that, those ones just, it's either evolve or die. And that's really apparent for stores like that. So, and all it takes is a handful of decent customers to leave your store for your store to just shut down. It's not that hard for a store to go out of business by losing customers, for sure.
Yeah.
But that sucks. I mean, yeah, like you said, I work in a store now. I worked in stores for years. I worked in comic book stores probably for like off and on the last like 7 years or so. And I'm not going to talk about bad customer experiences or anything like that, because I've had them all. I've had the guy that comes in who smells like cat pee every Wednesday. The people that want, you know, the super high price variants, but they want to haggle you on a $5 book. You know, they want it for like $2 and things like that. That happens all the time. But one of the things for working in a comic book store, the main nightmares you will come across, and I've come across, is dealing with Diamond themselves. Diamond just, I know they ship out millions and millions of items a month, but they got the biggest turnaround on employees. So you get some of the most shitty packed comics you'll ever see in your life come into these boxes. I think one of the stories that really stands out the most is every Tuesday, hopefully you get your shipment on time, and you spend Tuesday unpacking, sorting, filing all your comics for your pull box customers. And when you're opening up these boxes, you can have like 20, 30 boxes a week that come in full of comics. Sometimes, at least this one time, I opened up this box, and in this box was that week's New 52 Batman, which was really hot and popular at the time. I think it was probably like issue 2 or 3. So we had about 150 copies of Batman 3 or 2, whatever it was. But the guy that was checking off the list at Diamond at one of their warehouses, who was using a highlighter, must have dropped his list and the open highlighter in the box. So when that thing got shipped cross country from Mississippi to Las Vegas, we opened it up and it was just highlighter juice all over these 150 comics.
Oh my God.
That we can't sell. You can't sell something like that. And it took us about another 2 to 3 weeks to get a replacement of those books. So for about 2 to 3 weeks, our customers either had to wait, or most of them, because this is just the age we live in the age of wanting everything now, they just went to other stores and bought it. So we got stuck with like 100 copies of Batman #3 we couldn't sell because people already bought it somewhere else.
Oh, man.
There's a store in town called Velvet Underground. And this is the creepy store. You walk in there with your girlfriend, he's gonna hit on your girlfriend, and he's gonna say inappropriate things to her. He has like 6 cats that kind of just roam around the store, so it smells like cat piss and cat shit. All of his here's the thing, you would love this, Jess. He sells statues. He has a really cool collection of statues. But what he does is he throws the boxes away because he thinks nobody wants the boxes.
Jeez Louise.
So he tries to sell you statues with no boxes, which is impossible. Like, I'm not going to buy a statue without a box.
Well, yeah. How are you supposed to get it home? Set it on the floor of your car?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he has. I think he has the styrofoam, but he just doesn't have the outer box. So, like, what's the point?
Oh my God.
I mean, I'll buy it, but you better give me like 80% off because most of the value of that statue is in that box for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else, man? There's always crazy stuff going on working in a comic book store. I've called around stores before looking for comics, and most people know me, but you don't know me when I call, of course. And I'll ask, like, particularly like right now with the legacy books, the particular covers. I called around to see how much other stores were charging for those particular covers because there was that big controversial thing about stores having to order 150% over their normal orders to qualify for those books, right?
Yeah. A lot of retailers opted out of it, right?
Yeah, a lot of retailers opted out of it. Most of the stores in town, besides us at Torpedo, opted out of it or just didn't order enough or just couldn't do it. Torpedo's still new as a brick and mortar store. So our orders are low to begin with, so we can order a lot and get these particular covers. But the ones in town who are getting these particular covers are charging like $15 a piece for them, $10 a piece for them, stuff like that. We've gotten a lot of customers from other stores who canceled their pull box at one store and came over to Torpedo because, and I know Clark in the group has mentioned this, it happened to him with Mr. Miracle #1, where his store pulled his copy out of his pull box and sold it to somebody else.
Oh, whoa.
I know stores around town, when Mr. Miracle came out, nobody cared and ordered it because it's Mr. Miracle. Nobody cared about the comic. But when it blew up and got super popular, they put $10 price tags on that book. And it happens all the time here in Vegas. Stores will gouge you on a new issue if it's super popular, stuff like that. You get that a lot, and that's really bad business taste. That's just gouging your new customers that could come in.
Yeah.
So, what else? There's always something bad going on at comic book stores. I've called stores and asked for like a new book that I can't find. I ask if they have it, and they laugh at me on the phones. I don't know, it's stuff like that. I mean, it's not all bad, but as we know, the bad experiences stick around more than the good experiences because you expect good service. Yeah. So, you don't really remember those too well, but the bad ones always happen. Those are the ones that you always remember.
I would be furious if somebody pulled my copy out of my pull box to gouge it up and sell somebody to somebody else. That is just, I don't have the words for it. It's such bad business practice. Yeah,
I mean, that's just basically saying I don't want your business anymore.
Yeah.
It's just that's the only thing that means is we don't care about you. You have the product we want. We're going to sell it to somebody else and mark it up because we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. And my shop back home in Houston was pretty awesome because they're literally best customer service. They always did awesome stuff. They never like overpriced things, paperbacks and hardcovers. Like they never overpriced those over cover price, even if they knew it was rare. And I never had an instance where something didn't end up in my pool box or they gave it to someone else, unless I told them like, hey, yeah, I'm not going to buy this. You can take that and give it to someone else. It was always great, but I have a couple of things that have happened to me, but I'm going to actually wrap up pretty soon because we have to. I found out Chewy has like ant bites all over his head, and I have to go get some Benadryl and stuff to make him stop itching himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like I saw like a bump, and I was like, dude, what's going on? Definitely ant bites. But one of the worst things I remember ever, just really got on my nerves was I went into a shop on a Wednesday morning. It was like an hour after they had opened, and the guy behind the counter, this was not my regular LCS. I think I was looking for something that I couldn't find over there. And I walk in, and the guy behind the counter is just sitting there. It's actually the Santa Claus guy. I think I told you all about him before. He flat out looks like Santa Claus, and his car is covered in little Santa Claus figurines.
I don't think I've heard about him.
Well, that's basically it. It's for one of the other shops back in Houston. And I'm looking around the shop, and I'm like, hey, do you have the new issues from this week? And he's like, oh, yeah, they came in. And I was like, okay, well, did you get whatever? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, are you going to, what do you mean you don't know? Like, and he's like, oh, I haven't put them out yet. I'm going to put them out like in a couple hours or something. And I was like, what? What are you talking about in a couple hours? So that really got me, but I'm sorry to cut it short. I got to get out of here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got to – actually, you know what? I'm going to let you guys keep going. I'm just going to leave it, and you guys can keep talking, but I'm going to leave, okay?
Okay.
Oh, no, I hope his dog gets better. That sucks.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
Well, this was really Riley's topic, so we sort of missed out on listening to his experiences. I don't have I really don't have any other stories. I mean, I've been ignored by guys at the counter like everybody else, where you walk in and they just ignore you, but that's really about it.
Yeah, I mean, I buy collections and stuff at comic book stores too. So I've ran into those people that come in with, as much as I like 90s comics, there's only about a handful of those issues that are worth any money. But I've had plenty of discussions with people where it's just, I have to kind of break it to them like, these comics aren't worth what you think they're worth. You would probably get more value out of these comics by donating them to Goodwill, giving them out for Halloween, sending them off to the military or kids' hospitals or things like that. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, it's just one of those things where that's what's so weird about comic book stores and customer service, where I try to be the opposite. I'm the helpful, informative one that's like, yeah, your comics suck, but here's what you can do to get some kind of value and fun out of them, things like that. But I mean, Torpedo, we buy everything. We always buy people's collections as long as they're not like water damaged or destroyed or something like that. We'll buy your 90s books, but it wouldn't be anything super expensive. We're not going to give you a lot of money. But I mean, at the same time, I've seen the owner and the manager cough up $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for items that come into the store before. So that's always kind of interesting to see.
Did he? Was it the owner that was going to open up the Hulk 181, get it pressed, and then get it regraded?
That was one of the managers. That was Rob, and he did that. He got it pressed, and it came back, a 9/8, and it had 4 signatures on it. It was,
yeah. It was all signed. Yeah,
it was Stan Lee, Herb Trimpe, Lynn Wein, John Romita Sr., and he sold it on Comic Link, I want to say.
Okay.
But got screwed over. He got like barely $20,000 for it. So he was a little disappointed in that.
It just didn't auction for higher than he thought it would?
No, because a 9/8 Hulk 181 recently before that was signed by just Stan Lee, went for like $25,000. And this had 3 more signatures, 2 of them who are no longer with us, and it went for less than that. So he was disappointed by that.
Is there a reason he put it on Comic Link? Do they take less of a chunk on sales?
Yeah, they take a less chunk of the sales. You send it to Comic Link, and Comic Link sends it out. So they act as like the middleman through the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So there's no worry about like you having to pack up a $20,000 comic and send it through the mail. They do it for you. I think they might have a wider range where on eBay you can auction something and somebody can bid on it and then never pay for it, and it'd be like a fake account. Where I think Comic Link, your accounts have to be verified, and And the scruples are larger there. It's more of a sure thing to happen. But
I think if I had sold a $25,000 comic book, I would buy a plane ticket and deliver it to the person myself in person.
that'd be cool.
I mean, that I would have such anxiety putting that in the mail or FedEx or whatever. I think I would just carry it with me on the plane, spend $600 on a ticket. I mean, you're making 25 grand on the book. Even if it cost you $5 grand or whatever, you're still making a lot of money. And I would take it straight to the person at their office or wherever and say, here you go, dude.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Take a picture with the guy, put it up on social media and things like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, I can talk about how great Third Eye is. I remember my first experience there in 2008 when I first went there. I went, well, it may not have been 2008. Let me think. It may have been 2011. I had been going there for 2 or 3 years. And there's this store called Big Planet Comics out in Vienna, where they typically ignore you when you walk in. And I was looking for a copy of Astro City that was a couple years old to complete. It was like the Dark Age, book 2, number 3 or something, weird like that. And I asked about it, and he didn't even look up. He just said, it's out of print. You can't get it. I went and I go, okay. And then I went to Third Eye, and Steve, the head guy there, the owner, said, I know somebody that owes me a favor. I will get that book for you. And within 2 days, he found the book for me. It was in my box. I went down and grabbed it. And, his attitude is, what can I do to help you? How can I help you? How
can I get your money and have you come back and spend more money?
Well, I certainly spent a lot of money at Third Eye over the years. That's where I found so many out-of-print Omnis at the very beginning of of Riley's page that were all on. And I mean, I was buying $1,200 worth of books to sell to people on the page. Things like Secret Warriors and stuff like that. That was a couple years ago. But, I mean, that was just great customer service. He was just like, never say no. I will definitely do it. I will definitely find you the book.
Yeah, I mean, if you have access to that, where you have friends or somebody that you know that you can get that book from, why not? I mean, the old comic book store here in Vegas I used to work at, a lot of the comic book store owners in town are all friends, and they go out to dinner and stuff like that. So a lot of times they will, the store owners will go to other shops looking for books that they need for their store to help people out. So it's things like that. I mean, I get people who come in and they go, hey, I went to such and such store and they didn't have this book for me. And we might not have the book either, but I'll look in Diamond's system and see if I can at least order it for them. And hey, I can order it for you. It takes about 2 weeks or so to come in. Give me your number. I'll call you when it comes in. You can come back and buy it. And that's the easiest thing you can do to get that person to come back, spend money, and want to come back and buy more books. I mean, that's the name of the game.
Sure.
It's all about building a readership. It's all about building customer bases and stuff like that. And I mean, truth be told, there's not that many weekly comic book buyers, people who buy single issues anymore, because it's just digital and torrents and trade paperbacks and stuff like that. That any little thing like that was going to help keep a customer and it's going to build your business. That's what it's all about. I don't know why people still have that comic book store guy from The Simpsons mentality about their people that come in.
You were on my list.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't understand it whatsoever how people treat other people that way. Because back in the day, most of those comic book stores that opened up, they just opened up a store so that they could get their comics for cheaper, and they didn't care about selling anything else. They were just about getting their comics that they want cheaper and stuff like that. But nowadays, it's a multi media situation. Most stores in town here have clubs and book clubs and art clubs and things like that. So I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to think of more bad stories we could talk about from the comic book stores. I was going to ask you something too, I think. I'm trying to think of something. What about, oh, here you go. A lot of people, you know, like I was saying, don't go to weekly comic book stores anymore, especially folks like us who get our books from IST. What about bad shipping horror stories? You got any of those, Jess?
Bad shipping. Let's see. Oh, I did get one book that looked like it had been dropped under the postal truck and back and forth went over it. That was from a place that is notorious on Amazon. I mean, they've got like an 80%. That was back in the early days before I knew that, you know, go with 99% or 100%, you know, customer satisfaction. They're actually fairly local. I think they're in Springfield, Virginia, but they are notorious for sending out, you know, hardcover books in a paper envelope with no padding. And this thing just came literally like the post office truck had backed over it and stuff. And they fortunately gave me a new copy, but it still came in that paper envelope. I can't remember what it was now. It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Amazon's notorious for being just terrible at their shipping. Notorious. Are you there, Jess? Uh-oh. Did my connection die? Oh, well, looks like we lost Jess. I don't know what happened there, everybody. But cool. Well, I'm glad to see that you guys are still sticking around. Sorry about that. Hopefully Jess comes in pretty soon. Sorry, Jess, sucker. Now we're going to talk about Cross 24 hours a day on this channel. I know. So let me see. Like I was saying, Amazon, we all know that Amazon has the worst shipping possible. I've gotten absolutes from Amazon or even eBay. eBay is just as bad sometimes. You get a bad eBay seller where I've got, I think it was my Batman Hush. I mean, it's not a super expensive book. It's not rare or anything like that, but it's one of my favorite Batman titles where I ordered Batman Hush from eBay and the seller sent it to me in just the normal shipping or the normal box that absolutes come in. If anybody's ever ordered an absolute from in-stock trades or anything like that, you'll know that it comes in just really thin cardboard container for the absolutes. And this guy literally just put a shipping label on top of that thin brown box and mailed it to me that way. So of course, during this cross-country trip, that thing got destroyed. The box got ripped apart. The absolute was beat up, kind of like what Jess was saying, where it looks like it was ran over by a truck and stepped on by the UPS guy and things like that. So needless to say, I immediately got my money back from PayPal for something like that because I couldn't get a hold of the seller anymore. Oh no, looks like Jess's power just shut off. That seems to be the problem. Let's see if we can get him back in. Hey Jess, can you get back on? I can only talk about Cross for so long. So anyways, what about you guys in the chat? Give me some ideas of some shipping horrors you may have gotten or bad comic book experiences. Let's talk about that. We'll bring that onto to this discussion as well. What's up, chat? Or what's up, Jess?
You there?
I'm here, man. Glad to see you.
Sorry. You were talking about Crossed for 10 minutes?
No, I was talking about just bad eBay shipping and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. My power blinked and kicked me off the internet, so I had to go up and restart my cable modem.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I was talking about how I ordered a Batman Hush off of eBay once. And you know how the Absolutes, they come in just like regular like brown box.
Yeah.
The guy I ordered it from shipped it just in that brown box, put a shipping label on that box, and mailed it to me that way. Yeah. So needless to say, it got just wrecked in shipping through UPS.
Oh,
just murdered.
And did you get your money back or anything?
I didn't get a hold of the guy, so I just PayPal gave me back my money, and I just had to throw the book away.
Oh, I had an issue where I sold a copy of, what was that book? What's the first appearance of Harley Quinn again? Batgirl?
Batman Adventures 12?
Yeah. I had a bunch of copies of those, and I sold one and I forgot to put signature confirmation on it.
Oh.
Which I learned a valuable lesson. This was last year, probably around March of last year. And I learned a valuable lesson because it was a woman, and she wrote me and said, I haven't got the book yet. It may have been stolen. And
oh, no.
I said, okay, I've got insurance on it. Just hang on a sec. And she immediately opened a case with eBay. And I'm like, wait, I've got insurance on it. Give me a chance to make it right. And she complained to eBay right away, and eBay said, call us immediately. So I called immediately, and I said, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to make it right with this woman. And the eBay said, no problem. We're going to credit the woman her $500 back, and we're going to give you your $500 that you're owed for the comic book. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So I learned a valuable lesson. Always get signature confirmation, because that woman could have just been lying. And that eBay is awesome. I mean, they just gave me my $500 back, and no questions asked. That phone call lasted about 3 minutes because they had all the correspondence on file. So eBay's all right by me.
Well, that's good to hear. I always hear that sellers get screwed on eBay, and they only side with the buyers. So
no, yeah, that's what I was worried about too. But always get signature confirmation on a book worth more than $25 if you don't want to get jacked out of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, signature confirmation only costs you a couple extra bucks, if even that, no matter the price.
Yeah, I don't even know if it costs you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's totally worth it.
Speaking of eBay, I bought that Astonishing X-Men, and I haven't got a shipping notice on it yet. I'm going to email the guy.
Oh, you haven't?
I'm going to email him to say, hey, how's everything going?
When was that? Monday?
Saturday?
Saturday.
Over the weekend. I think it was Saturday.
And he's already taken your money?
I paid immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely should have gotten something after 3 days saying, sorry, I'll do better or something.
Yeah. I mean, I know Monday was a holiday, but
yeah, I mean, that's a quote unquote holiday. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, I've had it happen before where I don't get any kind of tracking number, and like a couple days later it shows up on my doorstep. But I just want to know if it got shipped at all, or if the guy's having issues or something came up. I mean, just let me know. That's all I care about. Just let me know what's going on.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see you get that book.
Yeah, dude. No, I appreciate you sending me that link, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, no.
And I tried to spread the wealth. I tried to spread the love on the board, but it looks like the second copy got bought out immediately too.
Yeah, it's just because you mentioned it that night, Thursday night, that you were looking for it when we were talking with Omar, and the link popped up the next day or Saturday morning.
That's weird because I had Astonishing X-Men Omnibus saved on my searches for eBay, but that one never popped up.
Huh. Well, then it was very fortuitous then.
Yeah. No, I bought that immediately.
Yeah, I figured
not immediately.
You would.
It took me 10 minutes to just research it, and make sure the guy was cool and read the description and things like that. But So I'm waiting for that. Did you buy anything this week? Did you get Gio-A or anything?
Me?
Yeah. What did you buy this
what
week?
did I order?
Yeah.
Let me check real quick.
Has it scanned yet, or is everybody like, oh, IST is the worst because it hasn't scanned after 20 minutes?
You know what? I will tell you in 1 second. I don't know. I haven't gotten a notice that it's shipped. So let's see. Oh, it hasn't even been picked or scanned yet. IST! Oh, it has been picked. Okay, it's been picked and scanned, but not shipped. Okay, let's see. I got Batman Flash, the Button Deluxe, DC Bombshells, Volume 5, Flash by Mark Waid, Book 3, Harrow County, Volume 6, Luther Strode Complete Series hardcover, book by Mike Mignola, The Visitor and How Visitor How and Why He Stayed, The Bunker Volume 1, Super Sons Rebirth, Black Cloud Volume 1, No Exit, Deathstroke Volume 3 Rebirth, and Mystery Society Definitive Edition Omni. Mystery Society and Black Cloud were two recommendations I got off of Paste Magazine, which is my go-to now for book recommendations. So that's what I ordered this week. I'm not a fan of JLI, simply because I like the part where Guy Gardner gets punched out with one punch, but it was too humorous for me. I mean, I like my superhero comics a little more serious, and that Riley refers to it as the bwahaha era, where Blue Beetle and Booster Gold are always in the background, bent over, going bwahaha. So I know there's a lot of fans of JLI, and that's fine. I'm just not one of them.
No, I get it. That's cool. That's a big haul that you got. Damn.
Yeah, it was mostly paperback, so it wasn't that much money.
Yeah. Was that Mike Mignola book you got? Was that Hellboy in Hell?
No, it's called Visitor, How and Why He Stayed. It's I don't know that it's I don't think it's a Hellboy book. I think it's a Mignola book that's outside of the universe. That I also read about on Paste Magazine, and they're pretty right on about stuff. So that's why I got that. What did you get this week? I guess you just buy right from the store on Tuesday, huh?
Yeah, that's gonna be my plan from now on. For the most part, I could just get it. I could just order it through the store and then get it Tuesday night. And so my hauls on Thursday here on the show will be what you guys ordered and beginning the week ahead of time. So I'm gonna jump on that. I'm gonna have to jump on you guys.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna be getting everything right before we are by like a week.
Yeah. So hopefully I can start getting more videos up of overviews and spotlights ahead of time and stuff like that for people too.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But I didn't order anything this week just because I got that Astonishing X-Men book, and I bought a book from Luis off of the board. So those are the things that'll be coming in next week for me probably.
Oh, okay.
Besides, I mean, it depends on what we get at the store. I might check out and see what's going on there too. But
when do you start full time?
November 1st. November 1st. So.
And do you have the rest of the month off, or are you still working at the insurance company?
No, I'll be working till then. I need to make sure I have the money saved up because the way it works at the store, which is kind of weird, is we get paid the first of the month. So we get paid once a month.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to save up and probably pay myself out of savings and then pay my savings back kind of thing.
Okay.
That's probably going to be my plan, to kind of live with that once a month paycheck. But yeah. Either way, which is good. It's called budgeting,
Yeah.
What's coming out this week? What's the big books this week anyways? Or next week, I should say.
Next week? I don't have my list with me. It's upstairs.
It is what, the 18th next week. Let's see.
Are you going to Marvel Masterworks?
Yeah, I'm on Marvel Masterworks right now.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. I'll just do the old screen sharing.
Oh, okay.
So that's fun.
Cool. Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So can you see everything over here okay? Does that look good? Can you read it?
Yeah, okay. Grayson, oh, yeah, Grayson Super Spy, Suicide Squad, Reboot. Whoa, what
Sorry.
happened?
I'm trying to
Okay.
make the screen bigger so people can see, but I know how to do that on a laptop.
So can the people at home see this?
I hope so. They should. That's why I was asking if you could see it well enough on the screen or not.
It's showing the 11th, but not
Okay.
the 18th.
Let me see. View, zoom in. Okay, so command plus sign.
Still showing the 11th. You just need to scroll up a little bit.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay. Whoa.
That should be big enough.
Yeah, can you scroll up a little? It's just, yeah, there we go. There we go. Perfect. Grayson Super Spy. Harley Quinn Rogues Gallery. I'm going to get that. JLA The Nail. I'm going to get that. Sebastian O Mystery Play. I'm going to get that. Let's see. You'll probably get that Wildstorm trade paperback, I'm guessing.
No, what is that? Oh no, that's the new Wildstorm. I don't care about that right now.
Oh, okay.
I'll wait for the hardcover. I know there's a Wildstorm 25th anniversary coming out pretty soon.
Right.
Or even Wildcats Absolute is coming out, I think, next month or December, that I 100% will pick up as well.
Let's see. Baltimore Volume 8 I'll get. Granville Force Majeure hardcover I'll get. I'm not going to get I Hate Fairyland. I'm going to wait for the hardcover collection.
Yeah, me too. I'm definitely looking for.
I do love that book.
Yeah, that's a great book. It's great.
Yeah.
A big pass on Marvel. Nothing for Marvel next week for me at all. I'll probably get Grayson. I'm interested in that because I kept hearing good things about that book.
That book is really good.
Yeah. That's really it. I might just wait on Grayson for a while.
Oh, Batgirl. I like Batgirl. That's written by Hope Larson, so I'll get that. I like her writing.
So that's it for next week. Nothing big. Nothing too big.
Right. Well, yeah, that's well, good. I mean,
yeah, we need a break.
Yeah, we really do.
What you call it? Akira comes out. I think from Amazon. Akira comes out Halloween, I believe.
Oh, it's the last day of the month.
That's what it says according to Amazon. Yeah. And then what else? That's it. And then I know November also is going to have the Infinity box sets. So I might just cut back on buying monthly or weekly books for a little bit, just to kind of save up for that Infinity box set.
Oh yeah, I want to get that Infinity box set.
Yeah, we ordered 10 of them at the store. I know
10?
that. Yeah.
Wow. And how much will you sell them for?
We probably will sell them at cover, just because that's just the store is. But I'll get mine for half off for sure.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be able to sell all 10?
Eventually, because we're not speculating, but we want to have enough on stock for when the movie comes out.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's when the books will start, or the interest for that series and for that series of books will hit the masses. You know, more people will be coming in looking for more Marvel Cosmic, more Thanos versus the Avengers type stuff. So
yeah.
And the store that store I work at is a store where people go in to spend big money. You know, it's not.
Oh, really?
We get people who come in and buy, your normal, cover price comics and stuff like that, new off the new wall. But we also get a lot of people who come in from out of town to buy $5,000, $10,000 comics and stuff like that too. So
wow, I can't wait to see that store.
Oh, you'll freak out. There's crazy keys everywhere in that store.
That's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait for my Vegas trip.
I can't wait for you to come out either, man. And then Omar's coming out, I think the end of the month, he said. So
oh, yeah, that's right.
Me and him will hang out, and I'll take him to the store and check it out and stuff, too, for sure.
I think you can unshare
this
thing now.
I think we're done there.
There we go. What? That's weird. There we go. How many square feet is that store? Your store?
I'm not sure, to be honest. But I know we're going to be expanding because there's a dentist office next door, and the dentist office wants us to just buy out the lease and take it over for them.
Oh.
So we'll be expanding a little bit more pretty soon as well, which is cool because there's so much back issues there that it's outrageous, and we need the extra room for the back issues for sure.
What are some of the? Can you name 2 or 3 key issues you got?
We got a Amazing Fantasy 15.
Whoa.
Graded at a 9.6, signed by Stan Lee.
No kidding. What's that going for?
It's restored, but it's $175,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got like 3 copies of Giant Size X-Men #1 that range from 8.5 to I think 9.2s.
Okay.
And those go for between $800 and $1,500. I want to say.
Okay.
There's literally like 4 copies of Fantastic Four #1. One there.
Now that's the book you just got recently, right?
That's the one I got. Yeah, I didn't get it from the store. I got mine off of eBay. What else? There is a Superman #1 there that has no cover.
Oh.
That I think is just like $6,000. I mean, that's too outrageous, but that's cool.
$6,000, Jesus.
There's always we got the what did we just have? The first appearance of Canary, or Black Canary.
Oh, the first appearance of Black Canary. What issue was that?
I can't think off the top of my head, but I know we just recently sold that the other day. We got 2 copies of the first Mr. Freeze.
Oh.
What is that? Batman, like 200? No, I think it's lower than that. I think that's in the 100 somewhere.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, we've got a couple copies of those. A couple copies of first Poison Ivy. Like, the thing about this store that's so cool is we get these key issues, we sell them, and we get more key issues. So it's always like this influx. It's a really good turnaround for key issues there.
Yeah.
We had a first Zatanna there, which is a Hawkman #5.
Number 4.
Yeah, I knew it was one of those lower numbers.
Yeah, that's a good one to have in good condition.
I think that was like a 6.5. A lot of our stuff is CGC'd. I mean, you kind of have to for those kinds of big books, you know?
I guess so, yeah.
We just got in a full run. He's always buying collections. Like, the owner will call us up, like, on FaceTime, and will show us these collections he's buying from people's houses and from warehouses and stuff like that. We just got in a full run of the New 52 Batman.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool because we got that Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder signing, so that's going to be helpful.
Oh, great.
So stuff like that, like a full run of Spawn. It's just things like that, just that we're pulling out of the warehouse and things like that to kind of get ready for the convention or for the signing event.
I had the pleasure of meeting both Snyder and Capullo at AwesomeCon with Fariha and Jay, and boy, are those guys good guys.
Yeah, I met them before
super nice
separately.
Yeah, they're super nice guys.
Oh, Jess, tell us the story of Mark Waid and the whole him giving you that money.
Oh, well, on the way up there, Baltimore's about an hour and 15 minutes away from where I live. I was primarily going there so I could pull this off. I thought it would be funny if I could just get a picture of him handing me a dollar bill as my royalties, because anything higher than that isn't funny. Like a $100 bill, that wouldn't be funny, but a dollar bill is funny. And so I went up to his table. It was Friday, so he only had like 3 people in front of him. Saturday he was mobbed, but Friday he was not. And I went up to him and I told him how much I liked Irredeemable and how great the ending was. And he said, "Oh, thank you so much." And I had him sign my copy of Irredeemable. He said, "Thank you so much. I really felt like I stuck the landing on that ending. It was in my head for a while. So we got into a discussion about Irredeemable, and I said, I'm part of a collector group on Facebook where I'm constantly beating the drum for Irredeemable, and people, we have 3,000 members, and people kind of tease me that I should be getting royalties from you. So if you could, would you mind posing for a picture, handing me this bill? And he said, oh, thank you so much for promoting it. I'd be happy to. And John Wilson from England was there. He's a member of the group, and he was visiting from England. And he took the picture, and Mark Wade just sold it completely by bowing to me and taking the dollar. I didn't ask him to do that. He just did it. And I just thought it was such a great picture that he bowed in the middle of it. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He was a great guy. So, I mean, he could not have been more of a gentleman I mean, he was just a really good guy, good sport about it. He thought it was really funny, and a lot of them, Simonson and Palmiotti, all those guys have cans set up so you can donate money for older creators who don't have like a 401k or health plans. So I tossed a $10 bill into Wade's
oh, that's good.
jar because he was such a good guy. But yeah, that's how that picture came out.
That was that's the Heroes Initiative, right? I think.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's cool cause. I need to hit up Mark Wade and see if he wants to come out to Vegas to do a signing at the store. That'd be cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I think he really appreciated the fact that I brought Irredeemable and not something else that's, you know, like Captain America or Daredevil or something that's more popular. That I think he considers Irredeemable his baby, and same with Incorruptible. So
yeah, because he was doing that when he was like the CFO, I think it was, or the publisher for Boom. He was like,
oh really?
Finances for a long time. Yeah.
Let me see if I can reach his signature here. Yeah, he just put his signature right there.
Oh man, you should have hit him up and asked him to be on the show.
I didn't want to push my luck. He was such a good guy about one thing. I didn't want to do anything else. But he might have said yes. I mean, he was so gregarious and just very friendly.
Yeah, you never know. I always ask that too. I give him my business card, and I always have him do a bumper for my channel and stuff like that. But
oh yeah, you're good about that.
Yeah.
I need to get business cards made up and hand them out.
So let's see. You want to do questions from the group?
Sure.
Or
I see John P. Is asking about the low hardcover. Here it is. I'll open it up and show some pictures. Maybe I'll do an overview of it tomorrow. I think people might be interested in that. John, can you see? Are you able to see this? Here is low. Let me get it back to Hangouts so I can see what's going on. Here's low. And I haven't had a chance to relax the spine, but that's cool. Oh, here's a good shot of art.
Oh, that's beautiful. How much did Greg Tunchi get money for that?
So you can see the art is great in this. I really love his art.
What size is that book? Is that the size of like a Deadly Class?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And this is the DCBS version, and I just wanted the book right away, so I just went for it. I think the regular version is coming out a little bit later, but I wanted it. I've been infected with that millennial I want it now attitude. So yeah, this is, let's see what it has for extras. Oh, it's got nice extras. that much is extras right there. So it's got variant cover gallery. Variant cover gallery.
That's nice. That looks pretty good.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good extras in this book.
Is it just cover gallery? Is there any like sketches or like scripts or anything like that?
Variant cover pencils. Yeah, there are sketches and stuff.
Yeah, I like that stuff. That's stuff I like to see in the extras.
Yeah, here's a really rough sketch. I don't even know if you can make it out.
It's hard to tell just because it's sketches, but I love this kind of process work.
Yeah, this looks like it's a very... Oh, and then there's script stuff in there. And here's some more sketches. Character studies, I guess. So yeah, this is a good value for $25. This is a big Herkin. I don't know how many pages it is, but I consider it a good value. Where do you? It's low issues 1 through 15. So that's
a good chunk of book right there.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything more than 12, I think, is kind of like extra special.
Yeah, and it's giant, humongous size. So I was really excited about that. How the F did you get it? I thought it came out the 18th. I got the DCBS version. How do you say Mignola? Is it Mignola or Mignola? Oh yeah, there's John Wilson.
I say Mignola, almost like granola.
Mignola, okay. Well, John's Italian, so he thinks he knows everything about Italian. So how do you say Mignola? Like lasagna? Is it Manola?
I'll ask his opinion about hairy chest and gold chain, so I want to know anything about Italians.
How do you say lasagna? Lasagna. Okay, so Manola? Lasagna. Manola. So the G is silent? Manola? Somebody, Mignola. Mike Mignola. Okay, good. Somebody schooled me on how to say Dave Michelini. I was saying Michelini. I guess it's Michelini.
They used to, in Marvel Comics, they used to have a pronunciation for people's names in some of the books.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Bill Sienkiewicz or John Byrne or Ralph Macchio, people like that. Which they could do that again these days because there's so many creators from all over the globe now. So there's a lot of unusually unique names that we come across these days.
Yeah.
What do you think of Palmiotti and Connor leaving Harley Quinn pretty soon?
That makes me sad, but if they can, maybe they're kind of tired of it and they need to recharge their batteries. I happen to be a fan of Amanda Connor's art. I would love to see her take some time off and do some interiors for Harley Quinn because I really love her art. So I'm sad. The guy that's taken over, I think he wrote. Did he write Little Black Book? I can't remember what he wrote. He wrote. He's written Harley before. So I. Whoops! Wait a sec. My phone just went off.
I read a lot of them. And did you post on there?
Jeez. So yeah, I'm sad, but they've written over 50 issues, I think. So they're probably kind of tired. They had a huge line at Baltimore Comic-Con, all signing everything Harley. Fariha got. I gave her some books, my standard size Harley hardcovers that I didn't need anymore because I got the Omni. I gave her those, and she got them signed by Palmiotti and Connor. But they had a line that was so long, I just did not want to deal with it.
Yeah, I can believe it. Those con lines can get outrageous, especially if it's like looped around.
Yeah, and it was Friday, so I was really surprised at that. A Friday is when, you know, you're supposed to have the smaller lines like Mark Wade did. He was mobbed apparently on Saturday, but there must have been at least 50 people in line for Palmiotti and Connor, and I was not up for that.
I mean, not that Connor. Oh, we're getting some feedback. Okay, well, it's not like Connor and Palmiotti aren't really important creators right now, but I'm surprised Mark Wade, who's Mark Wade, isn't just constantly mobbed.
I was surprised at that too. I was really happy about it, because, you know, I if I had to wait 45 minutes, I was not going to be the happy-go-lucky guy that was going to ask him for the picture. I hate waiting in line for anything. So yeah, but I was surprised at that too. Now I'm getting feedback. What am I getting feedback from?
It's Riley, because you left it open.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think it's coming from, because every time I hear anything, his screen pops up. So. Oh no, I think are we still getting it? Shit.
Yeah, and there's no way to turn it off. Okay.
Well, maybe that's a sign of times that we need to end the show. It's getting kind of late.
Okay. Yeah, it is almost 10 o'clock my time.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I got a long ride. I got to drive home too. So, well, hey everybody in the chat, everybody watching, shout out, thank you so much for coming out here. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for all your thumbs up on the video. Jess, let's go ahead and close this out big dog style. Where can everybody find you at?
They can find me OmniDog's Vault on YouTube, OmniDog Vault. And also on Ryleymo's Facebook page, the Omnibus Collectors, Comic Swap, and Community. But on my YouTube channel, where I will be doing an overview of Low tomorrow, I just decided, or maybe tonight, I'll be doing an overview of Low because it looks awesome. So where can they find you, Gabe? Bust a Move?
All right, you guys can find Gabe Bust a Move here on YouTube as well. Gabe Infinity Watch. I'm in the chat. You can see my name here on the screen and everything like that. You can also find me on the Facebook group on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap, not selling books over cover group, whatever it's called. You can also find me on Instagram, also as Gabe Infinity Watch, where you can see my hauls as I get them in. And like I said, I'll probably try and do the video of that record pretty soon. So.
Of what? Of the Marvel record?
Yeah, that Marvel record. I want to play that. It sounds awesome. You'd love it.
I bet you could play that on YouTube and they wouldn't jam you up. That's gotta. I mean, it's not like you're playing the most recent Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't do that anyways because it's Taylor Swift. But
well, I'm just saying, it's not like they have bots that scan for familiar music, and I doubt that's real familiar.
Shoot, I hope none of the music coming from the Starbucks gets us in trouble.
That's a good question.
But anyways, it's going to close this out because this feedback is probably bothering everybody.
Yeah.
But again, just thanks for showing up, dude. I'm just going to log into the Omnibros channel and turn this off.
Okay.
But I'll see you on the boards, man.
All right. Good talking to you.
All right, bud. Thanks, everybody.
Peace out.
Later.
Bye.
Oh, Riley's back.
Riley's back.
Well, I hope y'all had a good show. My dog's doing well. We put a cone of shame on him.
Oh, and you gave him Benadryl?
Yeah, I gave him Benadryl, cone of shame, and we also got a big log of like dog treat stuff.
Oh, okay. And where did he get the ants? Do you have fire ants in your backyard or something?
I must have a bunch of ants back there. I'm gonna have to go kill them all.
Fun. Get a blowtorch and do it.
Well, I guess y'all were signing off, so hope everyone had a good episode.
Riley shows up at the last second.
my one horror story from the comic shop, and I didn't even get to embellish on it.
Yeah, go ahead and say it. This was the whole reason you wanted the show.
The dude came out and was, I mean, I asked him about where the books were for the week, and he was like, I'll put them out when I'm ready, like maybe come back in a couple hours. And I was like, you're a joke. And I just fucking left. The shop's disgusting. It was like never organized. It was one of those places. It's always dusty. All the stuff is covered in dust. There's no order to anything. There's just stacks of crap in every corner. Probably some hidden gems, but is it worth digging through? Is it worth like getting an infection, like digging through all this dirty shit? Probably not.
Nathan Burkholz, when I visited Portland, took me downstairs to this kind of dingy basement comic book store where the guy was very friendly and he had a lot of whales, but it was unorganized, as you're saying. It was stacks of things all over the place, and Nathan and I literally had to dig stuff out. But the guy was friendly, and I think he even gave us a discount on the books.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we visited 7 comic book stores that day.
I've also had some of the other just horror stories that I've had at comic shops are like, you know, the typical really like annoying like customers who are like basically comic book guy. And there was like the people who they show up and they line up in the morning just so they can get in there first thing and grab like the rare variants. And they'll like even talk about the fact that they're about to go flip it. Like they don't buy the stuff for themselves. They might buy their own pile, and then they'll also buy one of the rare variants, and then they'll sell it on eBay immediately.
Yeah, I hate those guys. I don't encounter those guys. Oh boy, I'm feeding back awful.
I'm not hearing anything, but if I'll go ahead and we can close off the show. I just wanted to pop in and see if y'all were still going, and since y'all were leaving, I want to say goodbye. And I hope the topic was fun for everyone, and it's sorry I had to peace out for a bit.
Yeah, and while you were gone, my power blinked and kicked me off the internet, so I had to go restart my modem.
Nice.
So Gabe was hanging out by himself for a while.
Hey guys, also our channel's got almost 500 subscribers. We're getting really close to that 500 mark.
Nice. That's awesome.
Cool shit. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for taking up the time when I was out. And I guess we'll see you guys later. Megan and I have to watch a horror movie and take care of our dogs.
Oh, what movie are you going to watch?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Fun.
I'll let y'all know, I guess, tomorrow.
All right. Take it easy. Good talking to you.
All right.
Hi, guys. Good seeing you, man.
Good night.